on set, actually. On my immediate left, we have Lucia Moki, who is the founder,
Yes.
and I'm hoping also the director of the Cleft Click Kenya. On my extreme left, we have Dr. Meshack Ogutu,
yes, Ogutu,
who is a reconstructive surgeon, and also he has a foundation, Help a Child Smile. Welcome, and indeed, thank you so much for making time. Perhaps, Dr. you can start with you. What exactly is cleft lip?
Thank you so much. Cleft lip is basically a condition, a congenital condition someone is born with, where you find, in terms of the lip, it can either occur in the lips or on the palate. There's a gap between the two sides of the lip don't join together, and you find that when someone looks at it, he looks directly to the nose, inside the nose. And sometimes if it involves the palate, there's a gap on the roof of the mouth, and therefore you'll find that it just completely, when someone is looking at it, he doesn't see the normal face.
Yes.
He actually sees a defect. You look at the back of the mouth, the areas we call the pharynx, and you look at the nostrils, and these conditions, unfortunately, they have a lot of functional defects. Like, for example, that child, the more immediate thing for a child to do is to suck breast, to be suck from the mother's breast.
Yes.
And they're not able to do that instantly. They're not able to feed properly. And they are born because the mouth is open to the outside world, then a new environment, because when they are in the womb, they are protected by the mother's environment. When they come out, anything that is there, you find that these patients are bound to have infections in the chest, which might lead to pneumonia and they die. They will lead to infections around the tonsils and everything else. And sometimes they actually end up being deaf because these infections in the middle ear and also in the nostrils and everything else. So basically that's why there's a condition, and as people grow, then the other things like speech, they can't be able to speak. They can't be able to go out to school because they can't communicate.
Yes.
And as a result of that, you'll find that these people, in one way or the other, they are condemned from the word go.
Yes.
And the tendency for families to do is to make them hide. They hide them because of the kind of reactions from the community or from the families on why this particular thing occurs in place.
As a matter of fact, I've had myths about cleft lip, right? There are many myths. Okay, we will not delve into that right now, but Madam Lucia, tell us your experience.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. And it's been quite a journey, quite a long, tiring, exhausting journey. Why do I say that? Because I am in my early 30s, discovering myself, blowing out my full potential. Why is that so? Because having been born with a unilateral cleft lip and palate wasn't easy for me. This condition is not psychological, but it comes with other psychological challenges. Challenges like self-doubt, low self-esteem, where they hold you back and you cannot be able to function in your full possibility that you can. It has not been easy. It has not been easy.
Daktari, what exactly causes cleft lip?
First of all, if we knew the cause, then we will be able to prevent it. But we know certain things that contribute to it. One of those, which normally people will be asking you, is that in families, if you ask the family, they will tell you, look, yes, in my family, maybe from the maternal or maternal side, there was someone who had this kind of cleft, or within the same families, this has occurred frequently. That will mean that there is the genes themselves that they will have been transferred, those defective genes that make, that prevent formation of the clefts. But the most common ones are environmental factors. Nutrition is a major factor for anything else, because you'll find that these patients who have got cleft lip and palates, they have actually multiple other deformities that occur. Like I mentioned, that they have defects on the eyes, they have defects in their heart, for example, they have defects on their fingers where maybe they are fused up, they will have defects on their feet where they have the club foot, for example. Now, the most important thing that malnutrition, particularly for the micronutrients, folic acid and vitamin A, if they're not available particularly in the initial stages, the first 6 weeks of pregnancy, And most people don't know they are pregnant at that time. They might feel nauseated, they might feel they were vomiting, they might feel they don't have appetite to eat, and many of them don't actually eat at that time, despite the fact that they have the food. Yes. But in the rural, most of the rural areas or the areas we find that, look, although they are eating, but this food doesn't have these things. And this is where, in future, we might recommend that if someone is planning to have a child, we might be able to say, look, they might have convalescent to begin, folic acid and vitamin A supplement 6 months or 3 months before the things. The other things is the pollution in terms of environmental pollution is, cigarettes and alcohol. They are known to have a very high association for people to have this effect. And when you watch, actually, you find that even in the hotels right now, most people leave those, the cigarette people to the smoke. Even the servers, they are pregnant, who they're serving, and they're actually inhaling that smoke. And people take it as light. And the people who are smoking don't realize that the effect they're causing that particular aspect. Or the vehicles that are smoking on the roads. Particularly now when you have so much traffic, and the vehicle is going up and it's reducing smoke, and there's a pregnant lady in vehicles or in matatus, and they're inhaling those things out. They could be able to contribute. The other aspect is during pregnancy, you need to restrict what you take. Because sometimes, between the earlier stages, people will be given drugs that have an effect that can be able to affect that particular spot. We are now talking about the food that we eat on, that's having a lot of chemical effect. It's not only cancer that they can cause. They can actually be able to affect, particularly in people who are pregnant, these chemicals that are used in foods and everything else, they have that effect. Now, there are many other causes, but which we'll call the idiopathic, we do not know what they are, but those are the basic ones that we can be able to say this basically causes this particular aspect. And the young age sometimes, and the young age doesn't mean that they are prone to it, but when you find ladies, school-going children between the age of 12 and the age of 20, for example, because when they are pregnant, they don't know they are pregnant. So at that time, they will be doing things, or maybe to go to the chemist where they don't see the proper doctor, who prescribe something, or this person has a mental problem, let's try to calm him down. Those are the drugs that actually cause those effects.
Indeed. Madam Lucia, what inspired you to start Cleft's Click Foundation?
Over the weekend, we had screening and corrective and reconstructive surgeries done. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we had a young lady, 20 years, from Maasai land, married off at a tender age because her family did not feel like she would be good enough. She has a kid. She has never stepped into a classroom. She cannot express herself, only because she was born with a congenital birth defect, a craniofacial one for that matter. We do not speak up because as children, some of these people are hidden, some of these children are hidden.
Yes.
It is rare that you'll find this topic spoken about. It's a topic that is spoken in harsh tones because according to the society, this is something that is deemed as a curse.
Yes.
It's not a curse. It is something that can be corrected. So for me, I started a movement, a foundation, where at least I can create a safe place for people like Lucia, people like Kate, people like Gladys, to be able to express themselves, to be able to come together and talk about what they're going through and support each other. Like last year, I was going through my dental procedure, primarily caused by the cleft palate. I felt like nobody understood me because only I knew the pain and what I was going through.
Yes.
I did not have that platform to express myself. And I started this so that I can have. It is quite unfortunate that Gladys will be sacked out of her job because she cannot talk well, because she has a cleft palate that has not been repaired. She does not have the funds. Her parents do not know what a cleft palate is. It's quite unfortunate. As a society, where are we going wrong? In this age and era that we are still saying that we are waiting for the outsiders, not specifically outsiders, we are waiting for medical professionals from outside to come and do some of the things that are supposed to be provided for us. Yes. Constitutionally, we have a right to education. If Gladys cannot speak well, how do you expect her to go to school? If it is not corrected when she's young, how do you expect her to have that confidence? I am learning how to smile. Yes. Quite unfortunate at this age. Yes. Young girls are buying, young boys, young children. I had another patient also called Jaden. He cannot smile, 4 years. What future are we giving that child?
Dr. Meshack.
Yes.
Well, she delved into an issue that most people talk in hush. And the Kenyan government, through the NHIF, has not really helped in such surgeries. It's not in the NHIF. Creating awareness, is it enough, or what more should be done?
You know, first of all, let me mention, you know, sometimes we always think that many people have to do many things so they can make a difference. But programs like the one we had in the last weekend at the Nairobi Hospital, where the Nairobi Hospital accepted that, look, let's help some of these patients who are suffering, so that although people think that here we don't do free services, but they say, look, let's help them so that they can come in and have treatment free of charge. And we're able to go there and frontier our services and skills that we can be able to bring them up in better places. On. Remember this way, an insurance means that you must be a registered member so that you can be helped. Now, many of these patients have not really been registered because, one, you are really asking the impossible, because you have actually realized that many of these people do not even have enough to buy even milk, but now they can't breastfeed their own children through the breast milk, and so that they can be able to register, and the NHIF can be able to do this. And this is where it comes in that, look, as a community, as a country, how do we help these people so that they can be able either to, you know, register themselves, or, you know, if, for example, many of them be able to say, look, we are going to sponsor about 10 patients in Nairobi Hospital. Because you see, although the Nairobi Hospital is giving them free of services, they have to offer services to that. For example, in one of the patients that we did this week, I had to spend time because of the chest problem that the patient had prior in ICU. And you know, ICU in a night, it's almost 100,000 shillings. So you see, but the hospital goes a mile further to do that, because while I can do the surgeries free of charge, for example, but without the facilities, without the hospital. Now, and the other thing that I learned, when actually these people come together, like those who were there, and they realize, so it's not me having the problem, and as patients they're able to communicate with each other, it gives a lot of things. And it's so encouraging to see patients, particularly before they don't even laugh, they don't smile, they don't do anything else. But after they have had the surgeries, you actually reach in and you find they're smiling and doing everything else. So if we can ask, I mean, the government, basically I say that, look, most of the children who are under the age of 5 can get treatment free of charge. But remember this way, this is a very highly specialized service, which is not available everywhere. And it must be done by expertise who are trained enough to make sure that when they do it, they will actually be able to restore that person back to the normal, as near as normal, so that nobody will be saying that what's wrong with this particular person. So it is, and then also in terms of the government, what we might have to do that, look, maybe a way, what do you call maybe the NHI could have a safety net that these patients, although they have not been, so long as the parents are Kenyans and they are like the disabled ones, they can actually be able to support them without necessarily having them being registered.
Indeed. Lucia, you talked about awareness that is really wanting at the moment in the country. What is your foundation doing, and are you partnering with other stakeholders perhaps to create even more awareness when it comes to Cleft?
Just before I get to your question, just to add on what Dr. said, when we started this and when I started the awareness process, I had many people coming out for assistance. When they saw me speak about it, they also wanted to speak about it and be helped. But there's nothing as bad as turning away because you can only help 5 people. You have 15 people. It's overwhelming. How do you dictate and say, this person is more needy than this other person? Okay? So that is where we, the government, as other stakeholders, they can still come in. Answering your question, yes, I have partnered with Dr. Meshack, and I'm also hoping that I'll partner with other stakeholders so that at least we can give a good future to our children. There are adults who have also sold themselves short because they believe that they're not good enough. People like the girl Miss Naliaka, at least let her smile, let her know that despite, because I would want to see her go back to school.
Yes.
I would want to see her express herself, because she could not even talk a word.
Yes.
Because of the cleft lip and palate.
Wow.
That is how bad it is.
Dr. Meshack, because of the interest of time, how much does it cost, and where can somebody seek help in case of cleft lip situation?
Now, we have a program where we are helping, as Lucy has said, basically, in a properly set up function like Narrow-Bostock. And that also is cost between 150 to 250,000 Kenya shillings.
Yeah, the cost is quite high, right?
It's very high.
Yes.
I mean, it's very high. And remember, that does not even include, if, for example, they were to pay the surgeons who are doing this job, then it will go up to 400, 500,000 shillings, for example. But you see, let me tell you that, look, I think that looks a lot of money. But if really Kenyans, because there are people who have got money, really, I mean, they could be able to say, look, and this hospital, because now we are partnering with the Nairobi hospital to have a program that way every month will be able to help as many people as we can.
Yes. And
we can also be able, we also do go to other counties in the country, so that because there are many who cannot be able to travel back, we actually take like a similar Nairobi store to that particular place and do the similar work in that particular spot and come back. So really the embassy is to just look, it's for us, for every person to come forward. It costs, for example, some of these people who came, for example, very far, many of them will find that they don't even have transport to come back. And I do see members of the team contributing to give them the transport. And it can go as much as 10,000, for example. I know a family that came from now with the wife and the husband and the child, the two of them, from wherever they came from. Yes. It just costs so much. So it is really, I mean, I know there are people who have been willing to assist. I know that, for example, in the past, someone like Manager has helped for us to treat patients in Nairobi. So someone like Charles Njue has helped to do the hospital. And in fact, we would like to see more people coming in and saying, look, how do we help these foundations? Yes. Because you see, these are the future presidents of this country. These are the future ministers of this country. If we take care of them at the very early stage, we will be able to have made a big difference. Yes. And you see, his service, that, you know, we don't talk that, the talk we talk is the service we are offering the people.
All right. In less than 30 seconds, because we are out of time, what would you want to tell parents who hide their children who have cleft lip?
I'm quite fortunate I had a supportive family. If I did not have a supportive family, then I would not be who I am. Yes. I'm a journalist first, before being a campaigner for clefties people. Yes. And what I will say is that you don't know where your future is. You don't know where your future lies. Don't condemn a child because of a congenital birth defect. Everything can be helped. And we have a number 0719 555 665 where you can call, come in, and get help that you need. If I can repeat the number again, 0719 555 665.
Thank you indeed. We are out of time, but we can at least say we've done something, and in case to help other people who it can also be done to adults, I hear. Yes. Indeed, I've been speaking to Dr. Meshack Ogutu, who is a reconstructive surgeon, and Madam Lucia Moki of Clefties Click, Kenya, trying to shed a light on reconstructive surgery and more specifically cleft lip.